Welcome back, guys, to another Clash Royale video, and today we're back on my third account here because I just pushed into Frozen Peak Arena 8 as a level 6. I want to share with you guys a couple of the replays of me getting there, then we'll finish off with my first ever live battle on this account in Frozen Peak Arena. But here's the deck I used. It is a giant support deck. Honestly, guys, there's a bunch of different decks you can use to push up to Arena 8. The only reason I use this one is because those are the only cards that have upgraded to a decent level. Taking a look down here, you can see a lot of my cards are still level 1 on this account, so I'm pretty limited on my options there. But let's go ahead here and take a look at those replays. So here we are, guys, facing off against a level 9 as a level 6. 3 level difference in this battle here, and the reason I wanted to make this video for you guys is to show you that it's possible to push up in trophies as a free-to-play player with no legendary cards, beating higher levels in the process. Now, he's starting out a push here on the right-hand side with that Witch. He's also going to drop down a Musketeer next to it, which gives me huge value for a Fireball. Going to use the Fireball to damage that tower, damage the Musketeer, and also hit the Witch, with the Zap spell finishing them off. That's a 6 Elixir spent to counter a 9 Elixir push. Gonna go ahead here, use the Mega Minion as well as some Goblins to counter that Giant. And all I really was doing with those Goblins was trying to bait out a spell if possible to see what kind of spells he has in his deck. But considering he hasn't used a spell yet, he's kind of giving me the impression that he might not even have one in his deck. So I'm gonna go ahead here with the Goblin Barrel. He has no Elixir left for those arrows in his hand. And as a result, with one counter push, we're actually able to take out that tower, also kill the Bomber and damage the Ice Wizard in the process. So I'm still 100% full health on both of my towers. We're a minute or so into this battle, and I have a 1 crown lead so far, so things are looking pretty good. Now, like I said before, it is possible to push up in trophies without any legendary cards. I know a lot of people tell me that they don't have any legendary cards, and they want to quit the game because they can't beat people that have legendary cards. But let this video be proof that you don't need legendary cards to beat people that are a higher level that might even have legendaries in their deck, because my opponent here has the Ice Wizard in his deck. The next replay that I'm going to show you, the guy has the Infernal Dragon as well as the Log, and even though the legendaries are pretty powerful, they're only insanely strong in the lower arenas like Arena 5 and Arena 6 because of the way the balancing works and tournament standards. For example, a level 1 legendary is balanced against level 7 rares and level 9 commons. So before that tournament standard, when your cards are level 6 or level 5 or level 4, the legendaries will feel pretty strong, but in the higher trophy ranges, once all of your cards are at least at those tournament standards, facing off against level 1 legendaries isn't very hard at all. In fact, as you can see here, beating people with these lower level cards is possible even without any legendaries in your deck. So it's definitely not a necessity having legendaries in your deck to win. It just comes down to practice and experience, because with practice, with experience comes skill, and with skill, you can beat higher levels that have legendary cards as a lower level with no legendary cards. For example, on my main account that has the majority of the legendaries, he's only missing a couple. My go-to trophy pushing deck is a free-to-play deck with only rares and commons in it. So like I said, you definitely don't need legendary cards to push up in trophies. Now, we're 23 seconds left here, doing a clutch defense with that Skeleton Army, taking out the Ice Wizard as well as the Musketeer. Now notice how I first used the Giant to distract the Ice Wizard before I used the Skeleton Army, and that's just because a level 1 Ice Wizard one-shots skeletons from a Skeleton Army, simply because my Skeleton Army is only level 2. If it was level 4 at tournament standards, the Ice Wizard would 2 shots to kill those skeletons, so I have to make up for the difference by using that Giant to tank. Let's go ahead here to the next replay. So here we are, guys, facing off against a level 8 this time. This opponent has both the Log as well as the Infernal Dragon in his deck, so 2 legendaries versus none. Now I'm going to go ahead here and speed up the footage, just because both of us waited quite a while to make our opening moves, and normally I would have gotten impatient by now and just played a card, but because I am a level 6 facing off against a level 8, and my opponent already has a pretty strong advantage, I'm going to sit back and allow him to make the first move. Eventually he does get impatient and uses the minions with an Infernal Dragon to start out. Gonna go ahead and use some Goblins to pull the minions over into the middle and also distract the Infernal Dragon, but they do go down pretty fast, so I'm forced to use the Skeleton Army as well. And I was kind of hoping that the skeletons on the right hand side would pull the Infernal Dragon over, but it doesn't, and he also uses the Dark Prince to counter those skeletons. So gonna go ahead and use the cannon in the middle there. Take a look at how much damage that quarter health Infernal Dragon does to my level 6 cannon, bring it all the way down. Now I used the Giant there, didn't really need it. What I was trying to do was distract the Dark Prince, prevent any damage to my tower, but he ended up dying before making it to my tower. And as you can see, my opponent is also using a Royal Giant. I've been seeing a ton of people recently using the Royal Giant On my main account last night, I'm not even joking here, guys, I had 6 straight battles in a row against Royal Giant decks. Most of them were using the Royal Giant with the Miner, the Ice Wizard, as well as the Princess. And in my opinion, the Royal Giant isn't too strong at tournament standards for tournaments and stuff like that. But the reason you see Royal Giants on ladder more so than you do in tournaments is simply because the Royal Giant is a common card, and it's very easy to get an over-leveled Royal Giant. Like in all those battles against those opponents that were using Royal Giants, all of them were level 12 or level 13 Royal Giants, which is so tanky against my level 11 and my level 8 rares, sorry, level 11 commons and level 8 rares, because a level 12 and a level 13 giant is balanced against level 10 and a level 11 rares. So the reason you see so many people using Royal Giant strategies right now on ladder is simply because, like I said, it's easy to over-level it past your opponent's cards. Now here we are with only 7 seconds left. Both of my towers doing pretty good. We aren't able to get the 3-crown victory, unfortunately, but we still get the win. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next replay. So here we are, guys, facing off against a level 8 once again. My opponent is going to start out pretty aggressive in a moment here with minions as well as a skeleton army and a preemptive arrows. And this is going to give me a huge elixir advantage because I use a Zaspel to counter the push, and the arrows don't really do anything for him. So I'm going to soak up the elixir advantage and wait and set up a push a little bit later on. So as you can see, the Zaspel going down, taking out the skeleton army, his arrows doing nothing, and my Mega Minion going back on a counter push forces the Valkyrie drop from him, which is just more elixir spent on his part. Gonna go ahead and start setting up a pretty strong push here with that Giant behind my King Tower. Now the reason I use the Giant behind the King Tower is I'm pretty sure that the Giant should make it to the front of the tower by the time the Valkyrie goes in there. But in the end, the Valkyrie does manage to get one hit on my tower, which really isn't ideal. But because of the huge elixir advantage I had from earlier on, I'm gonna set up a pretty strong push. Fireball going down, taking out level 9 Minion Horde with the Goblin Barrel going down, and take a look at how much damage comes out here. Pretty quickly, Goblin's doing work on the tower with the Giant, getting additional damage done, bringing it all the way down to 874 health. Now, unfortunately, his skeleton army is higher level than mine, so it does take mine out, but we do have a pretty strong lead, and once again, he uses that Rage Spell on nothing, which gives me another elixir advantage. Now, he's going to come in here with a Hog Rider, going to go ahead and use a cannon to distract it, and as you can see, I do have the Goblin selected. In my mind, I was debating whether to use the Goblins or not, and that comes down to practice, knowing what level of Hog Rider versus your level of cannon will be able to make an equal trade. If that Hog Rider was level 7, I probably would have been forced to use the Goblins as well. And like I said, it just comes down to experience and practice. If I would have used the Goblins, it wouldn't have been ideal because I would have wasted the elixir advantage that I had developed earlier on. Now, once again, using the Giant by my tower, but because the Valkyrie is so far out this time, I'm forced to use the Mega Minion to counter it because I don't want to take any damage to my tower in the process. But the downside to that is the Mega Minion is in front of my Giant. Gonna go ahead and force some pressure here, though, with a Goblin drop, and as you can see, he was forced to use the Skeleton Army to counter the Goblins as well as the Mega Minion, which gave me the opportunity to use the Zaspel to finish them off. And now, as you can see, I had the Fireball already selected. I knew he was going to use the Minion Horde, so Fireball going down, taking out the Minion Horde, allowing the Giant to give me the 1 crown lead. Gonna go ahead once again and use the cannon to pull out the Hog Rider from the Rage effect. Doing pretty well here, only 40 seconds left. Both of my towers sitting pretty healthy, and I have a 1 crown lead. And this battle is actually the battle that brought me over into Arena 8 as a level 6. Now, I know some of you guys will probably say that there's already level 1s in Arena 8, which is pretty impressive, but a lot of them use legendary cards in the process. And as I already said before, level 1 legendaries are balanced against level 7 rares and level 9 commons, so they're already at tournament standards. You only need to get one of them, which is why they are pretty strong, getting only 1 legendary card. But as you can see in this video, they aren't a requirement for winning or pushing up in trophies. There's a lot of good decks out there that don't have any legendary cards in them at all. It just comes down to practice and experience. Now, unfortunately, the Fireball 1 second too late to take out the other tower, which would have really helped me out for my crown chest, but nonetheless, we do get the 1 crown victory. Let's go ahead here and do a live battle. So here we are, guys, facing off against a level 9. Hit him with a crying face. And a wow. 3 level difference here. This is going to be tough, guys. Normally, I do these kind of battles off video because I always get so distracted doing commentary at the same time. Let's see here. Level 3 Witch. We're off to a great start here in terms of card levels. But his Giant is only level 6, which is decent. Not ideal, but decent. What he's going to do here, let's go ahead and use some Goblins back here. Giant to pull everything over here. Never mind, not pull anything over, but Tower should finish off. Let's zap it for good measure. And that skeleton though, watch this guy. Look at this witch right here. Look how much damage it'll do to me. Ay ay, because oh ay ay. That was so bad. Level 3 witch versus a level 6 tower is crazy. Skeletons right here. There we go. Doing okay. That was better than I thought it would be. But he has a pretty strong lead, guys. It's always tough winning these kind of battles when there is such a significant battle or level difference. Level 6 versus level 8 is doable. But once you start getting into level 6 versus level 9 or even higher, it starts to get a lot harder. Especially when they have high level cards like level 9 barbarians, and I've even had battles at this trophy range against level 10 barbarians, which is just crazy in my opinion, guys. But let's see what we can do here. I don't have enough elixir here to set up a counter push, so I'm not going to overextend. I want to sit back and build up an elixir advantage, hopefully. This level 5 giant does die super fast, especially because he has level 9 barbarians. I can't even do a fireball zap combo to counter it. Let's go ahead and do this. That should work perfectly unless he zaps, but he won't be able to zap at all. So once again, no damage done to my tower. Not bad at all. Let's go ahead and do a giant right here. The giant will hopefully distract all of his support troops that he tries to send in. And then, hopefully he'll set up a counter push out of that. Let's do this. Good value here for this fireball, I think. The cannon thankfully taking out his wizard. Let's do this and this. And let's do this. No, the baby dragon doing work there, but look at those skeletons flooding in there. Goblin barrel taking the tower out. Come on, come on, come on. Boom, there we go. 1 crown lead. That's what's up, guys. Wow. Fireball all of this. Boom. Mega Man take out the baby dragon. The baby dragon is the strongest counter to my skeleton army. Let's zap all of this. 4 seconds left, guys. As I said, it's not impossible to beat these level differences. It is tough, though. But there we go, getting the 1 crown. Definitely doing good. Where are we sitting trophy-wise? Plus 21 for that. Sitting at 2,327 trophies. New personal best for me. Anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe for more Clash Royale content. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video.